What's going on today, bro?
The demons, man.
Demons?
Voices.
Yeah, no problem.
Voices.
Voices and demons?
Where's the voices? What the?
Based on family accounts, a source with knowledge of the investigation says Aaron Alexis had trouble sleeping in recent years, was hearing voices in his head. Law enforcement sources say he made contact with 2 VA hospitals for psychological issues.
The man responsible for the Paducah school shootings told a parole board he still hears voices 25 years later.
And double-checked and found out that it was Connor, which was an immediate shock. I actually said out loud, "No way." And then I sat and processed it for a moment and was like, well, I mean, this was expected. I kind of expected this. He spoke about voices in his head and the scary hallucinations that he would see at night. And some nights he would actually call me crying, saying that he was afraid of himself.
Told the paper that he's been hearing voices for months, and then it was those voices that told him to shoot the couple in the movie theater that night.
Now, I could continue on with these examples, but at some point in this video, I would like to talk. Yesterday, there was multiple acts of violence committed across the state of Maine, and the perpetrator of this violence has been identified as Robert Card. He took a gun and entered a restaurant, a bowling alley, and a bar and ended the lives of over 22 people. Upon learning his name, a lot of information has come out about this man in the media. What we have learned about this man who is in the army, before ending the lives of these people, he was hearing voices in his head. He spent 2 weeks inside a mental health facility. Now look, it's very easy to label everything a conspiracy theory. It's also very easy to sweep everything you hear under the rug. 2 days ago, I made a video talking about mind control. There were people that did not like that video because a lot of people assumed that video was about the woman on the plane known as Tiffany G. Now, I can't really blame anybody for thinking that because the thumbnail did show her photo, but she was only featured for about 3 to 4 minutes in that 15-minute video. The main focus of that video was about a government-run project known as MK Ultra. Project MK Ultra, or government-funded mind control, was nothing more than a conspiracy theory till about December 2018. Thanks to the Freedom of Information Act, the CIA on the CIA.gov website, they declassified MK Ultra. They released documents pertaining to this government-funded experiment. Now, I'm not going to go very in-depth about MK Ultra. Like I said, I made a video on that topic about 2 days ago, a pretty lengthy video. I will post the link to that video in the comment section below. But the gist of MK Ultra, the CIA did let us know that the government between the 1950s and late 1960s would target certain United States citizens. They would feed them drugs, they would inject them with chemicals and radiation. On top of everything else, certain individuals would be physically and mentally abused to the point that their minds would crack. Once these individuals' minds would crack, they would be more susceptible to mind control. They would be sent out to commit nefarious acts, perhaps blow up a building, or terminate a president, a presidential candidate, or public speakers. So the mind control conspiracy is true, it's been confirmed. But the CIA has let us know they stopped Project MK Ultra in the late 1960s. But what they haven't told us is that they stopped mind control experiments altogether. So when they tell us they stopped a certain project, all that means is that that project has become obsolete. They found better ways to go about the experiment. So that experiment is now under a different project name. So you mean to tell me they stopped mind control experiments against the public because it was harmful and it was also morally not right. They will never again allow us to be test subjects or cause any real harm to the public's health. But these are the same people, these are the same government where in 2014 Barack Obama signed the Monsanto Act. The Monsanto Act allows Monsanto and other GMO companies basically poison your food, alter your food. They can put certain ingredients in your food and they don't have to tell you. They can just label it as GMO modified. This act of poisoning your food and not having to tell you what's in it is still going on today. Not Trump, not Biden, nobody reversed this act. We will poison your mind with our food. We will poison your mind with what you consume on TV and the news. But that mind control project that we were experimenting with in the 50s and 60s, you can forget all about that because we care. But like I said, they have gotten better or they have even mastered the mind control experiment. They no longer have to beat you. They no longer have to punch and kick you to get your mind to crack. Now, drugs are still valuable into cracking one's mind, but they have found other ways to commit mind control, and that is through direct energy weapons. So you may be saying, direct energy weapons, isn't that what they used in certain cities to create climate change? Now, you can see this on the NIH.gov website, the National Library of Medicine. Since 2016, there has been an increase in reported cases of intelligence officers and diplomats hearing pulsing sounds and experiencing neuropsychological and cognitive symptoms. These symptoms varied, but often intense symptoms manifest in ways similar to traumatic brain injury, but without inciting trauma. So it doesn't look like I'm pulling something out of thin air. Let's go ahead and Google something about traumatic brain injury. www.google.com. Let's search traumatic brain injury, hearing voices. Post-traumatic amnesia occurs because the brain is in a vulnerable, confused state after a head injury. While in this state, the patient can experience hallucinations and delusions. So what's this right here, right under this paragraph? Can a TBI cause you to hear voices? Although infrequent, auditory hallucinations is a debilitating complication of TBI that can manifest itself even 4 to 5 years after the occurrence of TBI. So now we know you don't need a head injury to get a TBI. This is all backed up by the government's own websites. So why would they show us this? Why would they let us know this? Why couldn't they just sweep this all under the rug? These are the same people that shut off water in Maui. These are the same people that stopped people from escaping in Maui as a raging fire was going on. And these were the same people to convince people that there was no crime here committed in Maui. So they can lay out all their cards and they will still have people say, this is all just a crazy conspiracy theory. Everything here is normal. This article on the NIH.gov states implications of neurological directed energy weapons for military medicine. So TBI without pretty much hitting your head is known as unconventional acquired brain injury. These events are now labeled anomalous health incidents. Investigations of these incidents suggest reasons to be concerned that a specific type of neuroweapon may be the cause of a directed energy weapon. Neuroweapons that target the brain to influence cognition and behavior are leading to a domain of warfare, neurowarfare. This article focuses specifically on the implications of DEWs as neuroweapons causing UBIs for military medical practitioners and suggests using a comprehensive study similar to chemical warfare or other weapons of mass destruction to improve our preparedness for medical repercussions of neurowarfare. The news and media were actually doing a great job covering DEWs and traumatic brain injury, but for some odd reason they stopped talking about the subject altogether. There was even one report discussing the possibility of 130 victims of direct energy weapons.
We are learning new details tonight about suspected directed energy microwave attacks targeting CIA officers and top national security officials. We first started hearing about them, and we told you about them here on Special Report in 2016, shortly after then President Obama opened the embassy in Havana, Cuba. National security correspondent Jennifer Griffin at the Pentagon has the latest tonight about a suspected attack here at home.
U.S. officials say there are now 130 suspected victims, mostly CIA operatives and U.S. diplomats being treated for brain injuries, debilitating headaches and vertigo, the targets they believe of a directed energy microwave weapon.
There's a mysterious direct energy weapon that is being used, and it is causing, in some cases, permanent traumatic brain injury.
New indications suggest the incidents go as far back as 1996. Two individuals working on the NSC believe they were targeted in 2019 and in 2020, just after the election. One was near the White House and one was walking her dog. The Russians have been working on mobile microwave weapons for years.
We have to get more information, and we got to tell the public what's going on.
The U.S. Air Force and tech firm Epirus have developed a mobile high-energy microwave weapon to bring down drones. Epirus is also working on a miniature variant of the weapon that can be easily transported on a pickup truck. This is the type of technology that might be targeting American diplomats.
Russia certainly has the means and the motive to conduct these attacks. I mean, there's some evidence out there that certainly points to Vladimir Putin, the KGB operative in the Kremlin, being responsible.
The only victim so far to come forward, former CIA head of the Europe desk, Mark Polymeropoulos, was targeted while visiting Moscow 4 years ago and forced forced to retire.
It's pretty insidious because it also doesn't leave any kind of, open scars or wounds.
Mark lobbied for treatment at Walter Reed's National Center for the Intrepid. As part of his therapy, he painted this mask of a Superman cape with a broken CIA shield with an arrow through it to symbolize the moral injury he felt when at first he was not believed by the CIA.
Now they go and blame Russia for these direct energy attacks, but they told us 50 years ago they were the ones mind controlling the citizens of the United States. So we're hearing some of these people saying they're hearing voices in their head before they commit these atrocious acts. Some of them being military, some of these people being in the army. So it's not outside the realm of possibility that some of these people are being hit with dues. Now, I'm not saying all these people were hit with dues. I'm sure you do have some people that are mentally ill. Some people are just flat out evil. But what portion of these people were actually under the effects of TBI, under the effects of mind control? What portion of those people that committed atrocious acts in the 1950s and 60s were under the effects of Project MK Ultra? On Sunday, we just had a very odd situation where an airline's pilot tried to take the whole plane down. He tried to end the lives of over 86 people while under the effects of shrooms, under the effects of a hallucinogen. When it came to Project MK Ultra, hallucinogens like LSD were very popular in trying to crack the minds of certain individuals. So again, shrooms, LSD, they're all hallucinogens. This happily married man with 2 children was known as a pillar in his community. He would go grocery shopping for his neighbors. He would set up neighborhood parties. Always seen outside playing with his kids. Now, depression is a real issue. People can suffer with depression and they can look happy on the outside, but on the inside, they could be living one of the most miserable times of their life. That is true. But let's look at the timing of everything that's happening here and the major coincidence. You have a major conflict that's going on in the Middle East that they keep comparing to September 2001. They keep beating into our head September 2001. You have people from Iran and other countries that we are fighting making their way into the United States from the southern border. A couple days prior to this airline event, you did have the government come out and issue a worldwide travel caution. They did come out and say that those who commit terror and those linked to certain groups back to the Middle East may target public transportation. And we always know they always happen to target airplanes. So we have this pilot who is having a mental issue. For 6 months, he's suffering with depression. He uses shrooms, and then for 40 hours, he could not sleep. He boards this airplane, he heads to the cockpit, he sits down, and he tells the other pilots, "I'm not feeling right. Something's wrong with me," and he notices they're not listening to him. So out of nowhere, he decides to pull the shutoff for the emergency jet's engines, possibly ending everybody's life on board and crashing this plane, something they have been warning us about. Isn't that such an odd coincidence? What an odd coincidence indeed. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this channel and you want to see more, please subscribe. If you're already subscribed, please like, as any engagement does help the channel grow. Once again, thank you so much for your support.